Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindaki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kundar Radha Kundagiri Govardhaniki Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Dwarakapuri Dham ki Purushottama Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishthiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning at Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish Temple. 3545 is the 44. 3544 is the verse number here. Yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamityuda duragrahanam pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamityuda duragrahanam pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamityuda duragrahanam pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam. Yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamityuda duragrahanam pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam. Yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamityuda duragrahanam vasatopi puryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam. Yatsanubandhe sati dehagehe mamahamichyudaduragrahana Pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam Pade matatte bhagavan padabjam Yatsanubandhe sati deha yehe Mahamityudaduragrahana Pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam Pade matatte Vaishnavis Yatsanubandhe sati deha gehe Mamagamityudaduragrahana Pumsam suduram vasatopi puryam Yat because sa anubandhe due to becoming entangled asati thus being deha the gross material body gehe in the home mama mine aham I iti thus udha great deep duragrahanam undesirable eagerness pumsam of persons suduram far away vasataha dwelling api although puryam within the body bhajema let us worship tat therefore te your bhagavan O Lord pada abjam lotus feet. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki O Lord, persons who are entangled by undesirable eagerness for the temporary body and kinsmen and who are bound by thoughts of mine and I are unable to see your lotus feet, although your lotus feet are situated within their own bodies. But let us take shelter of your lotus feet. Purport. The whole Vedic philosophy of life is that one should get rid of the material engagement of the gross and subtle bodies, which only cause one to continue in a condemned life of miseries. This material body continues as long as one is not detached from the false conception of lording it over material nature. The impetus for lording it over material nature is the sense of mine and I. I am the Lord of all that I survey. So many things I possess, and I shall possess more and more. Who can be richer than I in wealth and education? I am the master and I am God. Who else is there but me? All these ideas reflect the philosophy of aham mama, the conception that I am everything. Persons conducted by such a conception of life can never get liberation from material bondage. But even a person perpetually condemned to the miseries of material existence can get relief from bondage if he simply agrees to hear only Krishna Katha. In this age of Kali, the process of hearing Krishna Katha is the most effective means to gain release from unwanted family affection and thus find permanent freedom in life. The age of Kali is full of sinful reactions, and people are more and more addicted to the qualities of this age. But simply by hearing and chanting of Krishna Katha, one is sure to go back to Godhead. Therefore, people should be trained to hear only Krishna Katha by all means in order to get relief from all miseries. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuvanmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas here, especially many of the Maharajas and Prabhupada disciples and very senior devotees here. I feel like a tiny toddler child speaking in front of many. Yeah, now it is all right now? Yeah. So I am thankful to you for the opportunity to glorify Krishna by reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. Here in the Vidura's talks with Maitreya, he is saying here a couple of very important points in the purport here. Prabhupada is saying that the same thing was spoken by Vedavyasa in Mahabharata, that there are two things that bind us to the material world. One is I, another one is mine. And there are two things which will liberate us from the material world, which is not I, not mine. Like that he says. So, this keeping oneself in the center and considering that everything revolves around me and everyone should be at my beck and call. This kind of idea is called as material consciousness. Modern day school textbooks, they teach the children that you are the center of the universe. You are in the middle and everyone and everything revolves around you. One priest was speaking to Srila Prabhupada here. He said, Swamiji, in Bible it is said, all living beings are put under the dominion of man. There is a verse which says that. Prabhupada said, yes, it is true. All creatures like the animals and birds are put under man's custody, not for his exploitation, but for the man to offer them protection. Like of parents offering protection to children. They should be treated like children, not for your exploitation. But modern day society, modern day education teaches people that you are the center and everything revolves around you. Animals are meant for you to eat and birds are for your eating. And the material nature is there for you to exploit the resources of material nature. So, this is a wrong paradigm which is actually making the whole world burn in the fire of miseries. But the right paradigm is given in the scriptures, that everything revolves around the Supreme Lord. As you wake up in the morning, you see the sun shines, the cloud showers, the flowers blossom, the fruits ripen, the rivers flood with water, the oceans produce 9 types of gems, the wind blows, the fire burns, and the grains and crops grow on the ground. And everything is moving and acting in this world not by our order or our will. Everything is happening by Krishna's will. We are mere witness to all these things. Not just witness, we are dependent on all these things. Absolutely dependent. Every living entity is mutually dependent on one another and absolutely dependent on the Supreme Lord. So no one is independent. We are all symbiotically related. So this mutual dependence and absolute dependence on the Lord is created by Him. So therefore there is a conformity and unity principle explained in the scripture. Conformity with the Supreme Lord and unity with one another. And that will actually make this world a beautiful place. And spiritual world is like that, where the Lord is the center, everyone and everything revolves around Him. Somebody may argue, why should he be the center? Why not I? That is because the Lord has no exploitative tendency. That's the main reason. When we say Bhoktaram, Yajna Tapasam, he is the supreme enjoyer. What is his enjoyment? His enjoyment comes by serving devotees. He likes riding the chariot of Arjuna by becoming Partha Sarathi. He likes carrying the sandals of Nanda Bhavani's head. So, because although he is a central figure, he is the owner of everything, he doesn't want to occupy the throne. When he killed Ravana, he gave the throne to Vibhishan. When he killed Hiranyakashipu, he gave the throne to Prahalad. When he killed Vali, he gave the throne to Sugriva. When he killed Jarasandha through Bhima, he gave the seat to his son Sahadeva. You will always see that. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he is the master of all the planets. Still, he doesn't want to sit in the throne. He gives the throne to his own devotees. And not only the gross benefit of sitting on the throne he gives, he tells Arjuna, Tasmat pamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham mayaiva yete nihitah purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin. Arjuna, fight this battle and have unrivaled the kingdom, and you become the king of the whole world. Not just the gross benefit. You take the credit of killing all the soldiers. Although for your kind information, Krishna said, Mayaiva yete nihitaha purvameva. In the form of time, I have destroyed all the soldiers like Dushasana, Duryodhana, Jayadratha, everybody. If you wish to know that, you see my Vishwarupa and Kala Rupa. He showed the time, the form of time. And Arjuna saw some of the faces were beautiful faces, handsome faces. Other faces of the Vishwarupa were ghastly looking faces. They were emanating fire. And they were devouring people like Dushasana, Duryodhana. And they were crushing in the teeth. So when Arjuna saw that, he was shocked. So they were all already killed in the form of time, which will be revealed by the passing of time in future. So Krishna told, you take the credit for killing all these people, although I have already killed them. In this world, it's very difficult. We may give gross thing to somebody, but to give the credit is very difficult. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the commentaries, Jiva Goswami, he says that when Jarasandha was killed by Bhima, Jarasandha couldn't be killed by Bhima very easily, even after 28 days. Then Krishna showed Arjuna that you have to tear the body of Jarasandha like this and put it like this, non-symmetrically. If you put symmetrically, its body was again and again combining like this. So Krishna was the idea giver. But when they were returning to meet Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna sent Bhima in the front. And behind him he sent Arjuna. And he came last, he got off from the chariot last. And Krishna was smiling and watching. When Yudhishthira asked Bhima, oh brother, what happened? And Bhima said, Jarasandha is finished. Immediately Yudhishthira gave a big embrace to Bhima and said, anybody who was caught by your hand will never escape. You have always been victorious. Well done, well done. So Krishna wanted to see Bhima get the credit, and he didn't take the credit. Similarly, in the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna wanted Arjuna to take the credit. He didn't take the credit. So Krishna is the credit-giving Lord, not a grab credit Lord. Whole world is about grab credit. Grab commodities and grab credit. Therefore, nobody deserves to be at the center in this world except the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is so pure-hearted. It's called Niravadyam. Niravadyam means spotlessly pure. The more we think of Him, more our heart will soften. The more we think of His nature, His qualities, His behavior, His pastimes, His humility, His... like even when I first heard, why did Krishna kill Shishupal after he crossed 100? Was Krishna angry with him? So later on I got an answer in one of the commentaries of Acharyas. He says that Krishna felt that if he utters more blasphemy, he will have to suffer for more longer time away from me. So let me help him to stop the blasphemy so that he will not accrue more trouble. Thinking like that, he showed his sympathy. Even when Duryodhana was knocked down in the battle and he was lying on the ground, when Krishna looked at him, he felt pity for him. There is one shloka which says that in Bhagavatam. Krishna did not feel jolly by seeing Duryodhana lying on the ground. Because ultimately, whether it is Duryodhana or the Pandavas, all are his own parts and parcels. So Lord is very forgiving, he is very sympathetic, he doesn't want to take the role of enjoyment. He enjoys by serving devotees. So when we think of these things, we can easily understand why he is the center of the spiritual world. You can see when Ashwatthama, whether he should be killed or not, Bhima said, kill him. And Arjuna was also intending to kill him originally. But when Draupadi spoke up, you shouldn't be killed. And immediately Krishna told Arjuna that you should pay attention to Draupadi's request. And you should satisfy everybody. As soon as Draupadi requested, then Yudhishthira Maharaj, Nakul, Sahadev, everybody joined Draupadi's side. On the other side there was Bhima and Krishna. In that assembly, Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could have declared, I am the Supreme. Just do what I say, which he did not do. How much he gives value to the opinions of his devotees. How much he is flexible, adaptable, which is very, very amazing. Although being Supreme, he is not exercising the strength of his authority on his devotees to declare the final thing. So, therefore, he is the center of the universe, whether spiritual world or material world, and he deserves to be so. And by serving him, we stand to gain. Just like the hand serves the belly by feeding the food and it gets nourishment. So, on the other hand, the foolish living entity considers himself to be the center of everything in this universe. It begins with I. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesh. So these five are the same as the Ajnana Vrittis, or 5 types of ignorance created by Brahma in the dawn of creation. So Avidya actually means the covering of ignorance. And then Asmita means, Aham engineero asmi, Aham doctoro asmi, which means I think I am engineer, I am doctor. We identify ourselves with the body. Especially in the modern times, it is most vitiated. You will see people are shoe conscious, people are certain type of jeans conscious, a belt conscious, watch conscious, mustache conscious, beard conscious, except Krishna conscious. People are conscious of everything about connected to the body except Krishna consciousness. So this type of idea of I am very important, this self-importance really is troublesome to the individual, and it also gives trouble to others also. Like Hiranyakashipu considered himself very important. Although he made not only the people around him bow down to him and salute him, including all the devatas except Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Everybody was at his beck and call. Prahlad says that to Lord Narasimha, my dear Lord, when my father Hiranyakashipu twisted his eyebrows and yelled at the devatas would put their helmet at his feet and offer him some gift, and they would tremble and run away from there. He was so powerful. When the sun was very hot, Hiranyakashipu did not have to arrange a AC. Rather, he would look at the sun and twist his eyebrows and say, "Ay," like that he would say. Immediately the sun would say, "Sorry, sir," he will reduce the temperature. That was his mind. Evening he could go to a park and look at the sky and look at the clouds and says, drizzle now. Immediately the clouds would drizzle. So he could demand the earth to produce fruits. He could demand whatever he wanted. He could even, in fact, he took away the responsibility of the wetting agent, drying agent, heating agent, all of them. And they all asked, what is our service? He said, just clap hands, that's all. I will do everything. You see me, see my greatness. No, there is nobody like that. Other than Hiranyakashipu, even if you take Hitler or Alexander or Napoleon Bonaparte, nobody can match his valor. But Prahlad says, my dear Lord, even such a great personality, you picked him up and you tore him apart to pieces and you finished him. So now I can understand how mighty you are, how almighty you are. He says that. So Hiranyakashipu symbolizes the I-ness or the mindness. He was an extreme atheist and Prahlad was an extreme devotee. Bringing them together, the Srimad Bhagavatam presents the most important lessons for us to be learned. So, identification with the body is a source of fear. Bhayam dvitiyat abhiniveshatasyat ishadapetasya viparyayo asmritihi. This verse says, the bhayam, the fear comes if you are attached to the material body, because we fear that the body may be taken away, or the things belonging to the body also. Like for example, if a man is coming down from a shopping mall, he sees that some ball is coming and hitting his glass of his car. When the glass breaks, here also something happens to him, in the heart also, as if his heart has broken. It depends on how attached he is to his car. But then when he comes near, he finds there are two similar cars of the same model, Benz car or something. Then he understands, it was not my car, it was the neighbor's car, it was broken. Then he smiles. Thank God, now I am all right now. Just see how much this, to the degree my mind enters into the objects of this world, when those objects either are damaged, or they perish, or they are taken away from my sight, I am going to be in trouble. I am going to suffer. But to the degree my happiness is within my heart, I will get fulfillment, and any change that happens around me will not affect me. So you will see the whole world is in a state of flux. It is uncertain. There are so many uncertain situations. Nobody expected the pandemic, and nobody expected the Ukraine war. Nobody expected it. Unexpectedly things come. And also new versions of the pandemic are also coming. We don't know. We are only coming to know slowly, one by one. And not only it is uncertain, it is also uncontrollable also. Control is not in our hands. So how can we give up our anxiety and stress for the uncontrollable, uncertain things in this world? That's only possible if we stop identifying with our material body and the things that belong to the body. And in Mumbai, there is a place called Nariman Point, very similar to New York City. When you go to New York City, tall buildings. So this man was standing in a bus stop and telling one of his friends, you see the tallest building in this area? That is my office. He was telling. My means it's like Mount Everest. It's my, that's why we call it me. Me means M-E, Mount Everest. One's ego is like Mount Everest. Next day he was fired from the job. Now what is his identification with the company? The day before he was claiming that the tallest building is my company. Next day he was not in that company anymore. This is the nature of the material world. It is constantly changing. So when in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, there is one Bhumi Gita, where Bhumi Devi is laughing. She is telling, in this world, all children are born helplessly, waving their hands and legs. With empty hands they come. And they don't bring any dollar notes with them in their pocket. They come with empty hands. And in the same manner, kings, even after expanding their kingdom far and wide, they have even crossed the oceans to conquer the other countries on the other side. After having done all these things, they are also at the time of death in the deathbed, lying with their hands and legs shaking in old age. And they don't carry a single penny with them. But these fools have wasted their human form of life simply trying to increase the land in their name. But they leave it behind and go. How foolish they are, like that she says. You can imagine how amazing it is. That means we tend to possess the land or the gold or the women, like you say, Dhanam Janam Sundarim. And one's consciousness gets stooped in that. The Hamsa, the Hamsavatara says that while talking to the four Kumaras, he says that the mind enters into the sense objects of the world and the sense objects enter into mind. So you can see that we become attracted to some objects of the world, and later on the objects enter into our mind and constantly we meditate on them. Like I remember when I was a small kid and I saw an aeroplane in the shop. I wanted to purchase that aeroplane. My father said, it's too costly, you can't buy it. So I told my father, I'll sit in the shop, you go ahead. We can see that for our attachments to the things of this world, we have told the divine couple, you go away. I'm happy with these things of this perishable commodities of the world. But then my father told me, okay, if you get first rank, I'll give you that. So next 6 months I worked very hard. I was in 3rd rank, 4th rank, sometimes 2nd rank. At last when I got first rank, I went and showed my father, see, I got first rank. He said, good boy, you are very intelligent. He patted me. I said, patting is not enough. Where is the aeroplane? Isn't it? So you can see, then my father understood, oh, all these 6 months your mind has been meditating on that aeroplane. That means aeroplane had entered into my mind. So first, when I looked at the aeroplane, my mind went after the aeroplane first. And after that, it entered my mind. So this is how all the objects are in this world. So our acharyas have said, the mind should enter into the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the mantra should enter into mind, they say. When that happens, the mind gets completely purified. So as we get purer and purer, we will be more and more relieved of the objects occupying our mind. They will be driven out. Because we will get to understand these are all changeable objects, perishable objects. They are all relative. And they are all subjected to dualities of pleasure and pain, honor and dishonor, and all victory and failure, profit and loss. All the things of the world are like that. But that is not all. That's not enough. One has to not only give up the false identity, one has to resume one's pure identity, which is I belong to Krishna and Krishna belongs to me. This is pure identity. And it is actually glorified. There is a pastime in the 10th canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. One day Mother Yashoda and Rohini were approached by Krishna and Balram. They requested her, please, Mother, allow us to go and play. You see, it's very surprising. The Supreme Absolute Truth, when he becomes a small child, he won't go to play unless the mother permits. I literally got to see this in one place. I had gone to do a program in a house. So the small kid wanted to go out and play. He was asking his mother, can I go to play? She said no. But he didn't like to sit in the class. It was boring for him. He wanted to go out and play. Mother said, after the class I will come with you to take you for playing. Till then you wait. And he was again and again, asking the mother, Mama, please allow me to go. And after repeated requests, mother said, okay, you don't go down ground floor to play, but you go to the top floor to play with your friend in his house. Don't go. As soon as she said that, the boy immediately ran. So I was surprised when I saw that. How this small kid, what is tying him up at home? Repeatedly is asking, she is not allowing and he is not going. Door is open, why can't he run away? Because the instruction of the mother is binding him. In the same manner, the disciple also is bound by the instructions of the spiritual master. In the same manner, Krishna also, as a small kid, he is not ready to go away unless mother would allow. So Yashoda told him, okay, I will let you go and play, both of you, provided you come back for lunch on time. They promise her, God promised, because he is only God. He can promise. So we promise you that we will come, don't worry. So they both go to play, but then they don't come for lunch. The problem is when you get into play, you forget the time. And then Yashoda is sending Rohini to call Krishna Balram. When Rohini goes and calls them, Balram was telling Krishna that, see, mother has come to call us, we have to go for lunch. And Nanda Baba is waiting for us. So Krishna asked, who has come? He said, Rohini Mata has come. He said, Rohini Mata, don't worry, we can deal with her. We can continue playing. They continued playing with the boys. Then Rohini went back and told Yashoda, Yashoda, I don't have love like you. You call with intense love and they can't escape you. They have to come back. So you please go and call. So she comes. Krishna Krishna Aravindakshatataye histanam piba alam bihare kshukshanta krida ashranto si putrakat. See what she says? In great ecstasy she is calling, oh apple of my eye, Krishna. All attractive. She is saying, you must be very hungry due to playing for a long time. You must be very tired due to playing games for a very long time with your friends. Come, my child, come. Come and drink milk, she is telling. So, for Krishna to resist this love is very difficult. He can't say no. But at the same time, he can't give up playing with his friends also. So, and Yashoda started adding up reasons why he has to come. She said, if you guys don't come, your father Nanda Baba won't eat. Then Balram became concerned. But Krishna still went on playing. She said, today is your birthday, Janmashtami day. All Brahmanas are waiting for you to give them cows in charity. Please come, she said. Still Krishna wasn't going. Then she said, look at all the cowherd boys of your age, how nicely bathed and how nicely dressed and decorated they are. And what are you doing? So sometimes the children, if you say that, see, good children wear shoes, like that mothers would say. And what the child will do? Immediately put on the shoes and say, Mom, I am wearing shoe, what do you say? They will ask like that. So she also thought, if I say like this, he will come. He wasn't coming. Then finally Yashoda said that she thought I have to do a trick to get them back to home. So she said there is an animal which comes to Vrindavan time to time. The name of the animal is How Beloved, she said. How Beloved is like a lion-like face and horse-like body. It runs at the speed of horse and it is as ferocious as a lion. And she asked, do you guys know what is the delicacy that this animal likes the most? Then all the cowherd boys stopped playing and they asked Mother Yashoda, what is that? She said, they like especially babies like all of you, boys like all of you. So they said, we have never seen it. She said, you haven't seen it, but you have to be very cautious while playing. If it comes, you all should run to your homes back. Like that she said. So all of them agreed. And Yashoda was hanging around for a while, waiting for them. After a few minutes, Yashoda, with her two eyes dilated, she showed hands in one direction and said, How Beloved, she shouted. Then all of them got frightened. And she took a U-turn and ran back to Nanda Bhavan palace. And Krishna and Balram on either side were catching Yashoda's hands out of fear. And they were also running with her. All the cowherd boys ran to their respective homes. So there is a beautiful verse Shukadeva Goswami says, Itam Yashoda Tamashesha Shekharam Matva Sutam Sneha Nibadha Dhirnrupa Haste Grihitva Saharamam Achyutam Nitva Swavatam Kritavathyatodayam. This verse says, Itam Yashoda, in this way Yashoda, Tamashesha Shekaram, the Lord whose body was like a bluish sapphire, completely pure, doesn't need to be bathed. She wanted to bathe that body and make him more clean, and dress him up and put ornaments on his body. And Matva Sutam means she considered that child her own child born from her body. She treated him like that. So this kind of treating the Lord as one's own is very important for one to purify the heart very fast and advance in spiritual life. She considered Krishna as mine. Matva Sutam. Why? Sneha Nibadha Dhi. Dhi means intelligence. Sneha Nibadha Dhi means intelligence imbued with attachment to Krishna. We call it as a TII, opposite of IIT. TII is transcendently imbued intelligence. When the intelligence becomes imbued with affection for Krishna, then it's like a sponge soaked in water. Constant remembrance keeps attacking the mind of a devotee and remembering what Krishna said, what Krishna did, all those things. So Sneha Nibadha Dhinripa Haste Grihitva, she caught the hands of Krishna and Balram, and Nitva Svavatam means she took them back to home. All of us in this world, we try to go back home, back to Godhead. She got Godhead back to home. Isn't it? So can you imagine how can somebody get Godhead back to home? That's only possible by intense love and intense affection and intense identification in relationship with the Supreme Lord. So by that kind of identification with the Lord as, Lord is my master, Lord is my friend, Lord is my Lord is my lover. So that kind of identification will purify the heart very, very fast. So I will tell one shloka and conclude the talk today. When Srila Prabhupada went to the Juhu beach along with some devotees, he saw some devotees were morose, and Prabhupada wanted to share something with them. He took his stick and he showed in one direction where one military officer was coming. Tall man, he was walking in a very majestic way. Along with him was a dog which he was holding with a leash. And the dog was also walking very confidently. And Prabhupada showed his stick to that and said, why is that dog so confident, do you know? And devotees couldn't find out. And Prabhupada said, because he has got a capable master. When dog gets a good master, he becomes free from fear. And he becomes very confident. He becomes very happy. Prabhupada said. Indirectly, Prabhupada indicated to them, I am here for all of you. Why should you have moroseness? Any doubt you have, I will clarify it. And I will expose and explode illusion. And I can put you in touch with Krishna. So why be morose? At the time he quoted this verse which I am going to tell you now, which is from Stotra Ratna by Yamunacharya. Bhavantamevanucharan nirantaraha prashanta nishesha manoratantaraha kadahamaikântika nitya kinkaraha praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. Oh, my dear Supreme Lord Krishna, when will the time come when you will accept me as your eternal servant and offer me service at your lotus feet? Right now I am orphan, wandering in this world, here and there, searching for happiness, repeatedly getting kicks by Maya. When will the time come when you will pick me up from this world and place me at your lotus feet, accepting me as your servant? And I will no more be Anath, I will be Sanath. Sanath means I will have a master. And when that moment comes, I will cherish that as the greatest success of my life. He said, thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki